Well, the referendum in Britain is extremely close, and I couldn't predict the outcome. The average of opinion polls as we speak, a fortnight away from the polling day, is that the Remain vote is on 51% and the Leave vote is on 49%. But an awful lot could happen in 2 weeks. And there is a real risk that Britain might vote to leave. Now, why has this come about? There's always, of course, been more hostility to our membership of the European Union in Britain than in virtually any other member state. And there's been a division about Europe which has been very toxic in the Conservative Party since the 1990s. But what I think has resulted in this narrowing of the gap between those who favour staying and those who want to leave, what put the referendum on a knife edge is the issue of immigration and the way in which our membership of the European Union has been linked to our alleged lack of control of our borders. And this is a very powerful concern amongst people. It's become much more powerful since the accession of the East European member states in 2004, when a lot of people from there came to work in Britain. And it has undoubtedly resulted in some social pressures and some pressures on wages and things like that. But it is a very, very worrying for long-term supporters of the European Union, both in Britain and in Europe, because, of course, a victory for Brexit would also be a victory for all the populists in many other member states who are campaigning against Europe. What would be the consequences for Britain? Well, I think that the consequences would be economically very painful, and if we left, but also I think we would suffer a political isolation. I think Britain would become a nastier country, dominated by populism, and I think it's a very depressing prospect for my country. If we remain, even if the vote is very narrow, the Europe issue isn't going to go away. We run the risk that a referendum has become a never-ending, that's a never-ending debate about our membership. But if we do stay, there is an opportunity for the government to make a stronger case for Britain's membership of the EU. There is an opportunity for a government to show leadership in Europe. Now, whether the Conservative Party, with all its divisions on Europe, is capable of doing that, I very much doubt. I mean, I'd like to see a Labour Party that was really committed to Britain leading in Europe. But one of the problems with the referendum has been that Labour has been largely absent from the debate. And if we lose, I think that will be one of the reasons why we lose. So it's a very, very difficult situation that we're facing. I hope that we will vote to remain, but the risk of Brexit is really high.